There is a latest audit report on ECG about Bontia. Among Crofobibrinabufua, people are calling for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to arrest the previous government, and some people are Wamuye Juma Ewo ECG. Na me betre and sem nimu no obi ati as I say munim say eya na meye no. Na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama a meeting with the stakeholders Efa Ghana enyamkania ehono. Asemo a wakan ye ne say the losses at ECG no too much. He was calling for privatization, because one thing about Ghana for NSA, you see, na private companies no, to me run it perfectly as in government companies. Yet you be true abanye juma no na say minim ohun say abanye juma de yen to me mpame no into on yire ne ho enye. But say a private sector there na nipa ko ne yire ne ho, because who di agra be pame. The track record is there. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama can say or proposing for privatization of ECG. Now, some people agreed and some people didn't agree. In fact, the former ECG boss, say that is not what we need. But other people in the sector and so Babonte so and one that you hear say was yeah. Now, you see, there is something called the cash for is it the cash water mechanism, right? There's something called the cash water mechanism. Now, mama mwati ase wo ahase say sebi ECG no enye omo na omo produce kanea. Enye ECG ne produce kanea. Ye wo nkrofobia wo mo produce kanea. Na sa kanea na wo mo produce no. ECG 4 beje na ECG 4 aton kanea no amagana 4 na ECG 4 ayeden agi hunska se ECG 4 gi hunska na e wo se ECG edi sika ne kokotua omogi sika ne difrim no mo de hwe omo ho no mo sanso de sika no enkan no ekokotua bebi a wo mo eyeden eto kanea ne free ye. It is our independent power producers here ye to kanea free omo ho ni na ne wo se ECG na eden eti omo ka. But for several years ni ECG, I'm representing Kufuor by ECG into me nchian krofo yika. Sika na ya na ehye. Ye di sika be kwa akoto kanea, ECG beton kanea na ewie. Omo beton kanea na ewie wo se wo mokoba akokotua aka no na akoda ne bo achi bi dinti. For people to understand the energy sector crisis, what is exactly happening in the energy sector no, basically that is what is going on. Until there was a system that was introduced by a friend, the cash water flow mechanism. As a cash water flow mechanism no nini na ne say ECG eba beton eye kanea no na odisika na eba e was so oba betrim say kanea na meje ye no so and so e na maton enti no ton na maton no omo a wo de kanea nini na ma yen eni enti asomesi sika ye ma nini obentin sika ye ma nini akwa say waterfall enti sika no ye jegum na aso obia so basically no. That is what the cash water flow mechanism means. Ye disika ba ye jegu so na osun obia so nti obia benya ne chefa obia wo se wonye bia benya. Na ene audit reporter aba etre se ECG 4 enyuma bia na nyama bia wo mo eyeye under president Kufuor no. Impenyifo bia na ehye ECG ade bia wo mo yeye no mo aboga na abro ama oman ya boka. And so we are going to go into the findings of the audit report so you understand how some people are your employer or share ECG. Say womunye juma na nka Ghana yente ho mfaso no say ni omo abo oman ni form. Inti if and there His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is calling for the privatization of ECG odika, because if ECG was to be a private company sebi in previous senior sankrofo ye bo Ghana form with the omoye wo ECG no, there's no way a private company be abe peneso so will be nyesa. Any as a PwC has completed the second audit of ECG's accounts covering Q4 2023. Here are some key findings. As the ECG underdeclared revenues to the cash water flow mechanism by 1.14 billion cedis when compared to ECG's bank accounts. The first scandal, and they say, Yeni na, yen say, example, yeni na yeton ekutuo. Ena, ekutuo no waba abeje, waje 100 efri me ho, waje 100 efri obifufro ho. Ene ya aka tro say ekutuo na yede ma no, yede ye ton ama ba ko 50 pesos. Into wo kokoton wi a, yen yesika na fabre yen. Inti yen fa ne say ekutuo no, me amama 100 no, na me ton ba ko 50 pesos a. Say na wo say de breme. I also bring me 50 cedis me boa. Yes. Now wo wakwa koton ekutuo na wie. Wo koton no, wo koton ekutuo na bia ba ko 2 cedis. Wo benya 200 cedis e free me boa. Fa me 50 pesos breme. ECG for koton ekutuo na wie ye e ba ye no. Omo ba betwa ye ntro say oh ekutuo na meje ba ko 50 pesos free ho na me kokoton ye no kra no me kra me kokoton ba ko eye 10 pesos. Na tre say me 50 cedis na me hwehwe na kra no wuntumi nyama me because me de ma 50 pesos. Wo akwa koton ni 10 pesos. Inti me 50 pesos me 50 cedis no. Unyama me because wo ton we ye na kra no waboka. Na tre say wo akwa koton ade ni 2 cedis. Na so waba be dada me say wo koton ba ko eye 10 pesos. And that is what ECG did. The first statement no the ECG here no. They underdeclared their revenue. Inti wo be ba be catch and say oh ekutuo no me ton ba ko 2 cedis. Inti wo say wo de man be ba ko 50 pesos no 100 na me giye no 50 cedis inti ji 50 cedis. Na so me sin so awon so gi ne de onu so atua ne kananka obi adidi no. Wa ba be dada me say o ton ba ko 10 pesos. Inti me 50 cedis nka no ntumi mfa ni na ma me because sika sisi a ukita no eswa. That is the first investigations FR ECG ho under President Akufo-Addo 2023 third quarter. When put 2023, that's the first scandal. They declared revenues under declared revenues by 1.14 billion cedis. 1.14 billion cedis. And no more under declared revenues. No. Let's go to the second one. Even with the underdeclared revenues to the cash for cash waterfall mechanism, ECG still underpaid the sector players based on allocations in the cash waterfall mechanism. Over 3 months, it underpaid them by 609 million cedis. Just as I was saying. Ubabecha yen tro say, adie no, uton 10 pesos ne kra no. 50 cedis say wasa ode bre me kra no, still one fan bre me. Usanso ba betia me less. Esin se ni awoje adie no. Iti 50 cedis a me media ma wakwa koton nyamfa so wi aba be dada me awie no. 50 cedis na me media adie na ma no. Me ku 200 na media ma 50 cedis to. Wa ba be ma me 20 cedis. Abomeka abome form. We business. Inti adia na impenyufo eti ECG. Di omude ye Ghana no. Inti ende se independent power producers ne katre yen se eka wo ho inti no mutumi produce nyamkane a emma Ghana for. Eno inti Ghana for beda dum so mo a, you know where it is coming from. Impenyufo a ye de o man na show mo nsa se omo akwa koton kane a na wie. Omo mbra ma mbetu aka no. De na wo mo ye no no, omo twa ntro a eka na kra no. Omo sanso ntia. Na hwan na ora ne business a sebe ne business ebe koso ayeye. Hwan no ora ne business with this. All suppliers are air supply goods na ma no. Ukokoton goods ni wi aba betwa omo ntro. En sanso ntia omo ka. U business ebe koso. Say number 3, the third point. Despite being directed to operate a single bank account for all revenue collections and disbursements, ECG operated 84 bank accounts across 20 banks. Ye catch the ECG say a company baako. Mo run the bank accounts baako. Ni na ye hu bank account ni hu ne say sika akwa akotom no no because a business. Untumi nkongoji sika emfa share pockets. ECG sika obenye bia was to bank account mu. Inti sika na ba beto bank account mu a. Yen ye be hu say okay sika wenya ni. Inti untumi nkra ma me den emma me try and draw. Inti ye katre ECG say, omo run the bank account ba kope, no bi enhu sika na etom no, ni enhu de eko. Omo run the bank account ba ko 84. Inti bank account ba ko 84. Ti etwa tra ne de sika na kwa kogu we mu nti ukoko hwesa bank account ne de atral say no ne ye rane a. Ebe ye say ye no kware say de ye ka atral say ya boka no sa na eti. Meanwhile, there are other 83 bank accounts at Ewoho. They were running 84 different bank accounts instead of just a single one bank account. Now we dibu on mine. On Sunday, NDC, every abayimuno. All these things are now coming up. And the sense and same way in our APA, Amagana fuehu, a memo bonia, NPP for Ebu Ghana. The fourth point, the private vendor taxed with collections on behalf of ECG got paid 47.5 million cedis in commissions over 3 months. It even got paid before the players who actually generate the power. Now, for the allegation eto Baumia so say, Baumia ekofa company bi ba ECG say womuni ECG for nye juma. Na sa company win here from say womu ye the private vendor no. Allegedly. You see, ECG for akwakoje kane free suppliers ni hwewie akwakoton no. Omuntia kan ma suppliers ni mpo no na allegedly sa company ya yese Baumia kokofa ba ye no. Ya tisika 47.5 million amomo. Just 3 months ni ate 45 million. Omo de kane ane ma onekra unti omo ka. Nipa kra wode kane ane ma ono. Unti ane kan wiye. Nanso third party a wono na nke ye kan oni hokra na nke djuma ne be koyie no. Ono de usika ne bae na wate 47.5 million amount. And then the fifth one, ECG over 2 months made deductions worth 303 million cedis from the revenue declared. They call this amount tax offsets, but they couldn't provide any evidence or rationale to the auditors. ECG for we no eno mwankasa ti sika 303 million efi sika wo mwenyemu. E could be some says 303 million no e fa here wo musi o eye taxes eto. Eto nso de wutua e wo se won krata e trese wetua to. Okay, se mwetua to 303 million. Mumfa nkrata mbra yenhu ne se indeed mwetua to 303 million na nkrata bi eni ho. Just 303 million e possible say akwa kuvura wo bi ebotum. This 303 million ya wo mo atie free sika mu no. Yenhu nkrata e kire se wo mo atua to. Is this how you run a state organization? This was happening under President Akufo-Addo. But once Emrana Omowo Abayimuno, all these things were not coming up. Then people in power, they knew all these things. Obi say it could be the reason why Nancy Oha Afenyomakin work as a oral. Because Afenyomakin is the board chair of ECG. As to whether they all knew say Enyama way air cosono or not no. Well, it is for another day. But this is how under President Akufo-Addo no more running ECG. In Tisende, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama air call for privatization of ECG. Are you going to support it or not? Sa omo running ECG say no. Virtually, se dum so si wagana yo omo fault to like omo no ma ball mine because omo man kania no se me mu treat omo ni. Into ka so produce kania ni be mu dum so atoye so. So how do you think they should be dealt with? Munche mo your comment box ni mo. But that's it.